Alright, so we're back in the garage and I realize I'm doing things and I'm not taping it, so I stopped. I got the last of the pieces out of the, actually there's one left. The ends from the vinegar. It only took 4 hours to get this. I separated them by this little thing so I could get both sides. I found when they were sitting like this, the vinegar didn't get between them and I had to turn them around to get the other side. So I put these little things, these spacers in, like stickers in wood. So there was one that did not get cleaned, but these were like 4 hours in regular old like Walmart white vinegar. So I'm happy with that. So I went ahead and welded this piece with the MIG welder. I had tacked it, but I needed a lot of tacks, I thought, in order to get it to be solid and then separate the way I wanted and be solid. Well, all 6 pieces, well, all 9 pieces, 3, 6, 9. So I went ahead and welded the whole thing with the MIG welder. And maybe somebody out there who's watching can tell me what I'm doing wrong. So I've got the 023 wire in, and my I've got the 75-25 mix, and my pressure is about 20, and it starts out and it welds great, and then all of a sudden it gets porous. I skipped this end. It welded great, and then it got porous, and then the porosity went away. And coming back this way, it was a little porous. It welded pretty good. It got porous. A section in here is not porous. It comes and goes, and I don't know why. So anyway, I'm going to have to grind some of that off, and maybe I'll use the torch in the basement to add some filler metal to that and get rid of those bubbles, because that's not acceptable. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I get off of that, can the pressure be too high? Is that it? Like, is 20 too much? Or is it too little? I don't know. You tell me. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this. Once I cut this one, I don't know if I'll be able to slide it around and clamp it still. So I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. You don't want to watch the bandsaw running, and I don't want to have to edit this and speed it up, so I'll just skip ahead. So before I cut this all the way through, here I am thinking again. Sorry, the plan is to separate these 2 ends. This is fixed, obviously, because that's where the handle goes through. And I did a lot of looking and found some blueprints online, and it looked like this, the beginning of this slot was about 1/4 of the length of this box. So if the hammer was larger, then this was larger. So about 1.5 inches is about 1/4 of a 6-inch box, so that's what I made it. But I'm going to pull these 2 pieces apart to create that slot. So they're going to be 1/4 inch too long on each side. So should I stop what I'm doing and slice off 1/4 inch off of each end? Because once it's this size, there's no putting it in the vise. So then I'll have to like hold it by hand, put the bandsaw up and try and cut a straight line. That's next to impossible. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to move this and slice off 1/4 inch off of each end. Because once the pieces are small, it's really hard to hold them in the vise. Alright, that's what we're doing. See you in a minute. Alright, 2 things. I set this up to cut off 1/4 inch. However, I almost forgot to take into account the thickness of the blade, which would have left this piece and that piece too short. So I took that into account. I measured not from this side of the blade, but from that side of the blade. And why didn't one of you tell me just to make 3 separate sections, so I didn't have to do this that were the right size instead of cutting this. Like, that's what you're here for. All right, get on the ball. All right, so all 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts are made. I'm happy with that. I can adjust this as I see fit when we assemble it, but I'm pretty happy with that. And once I have, you know, the same thing underneath, it will look like a milled slot. I have no idea how we're going to do let me back out here. There we go. On the sides, there's a, where that meets, there's a little thing. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll just skip that for this one. Anyway, I am so happy with this Enco bandsaw. If you get an opportunity to get one, get one. Even if it's at a garage sale. This was filthy. It was in pieces, and thanks to the interweb, it's great. It cuts straight. I'm so happy with it. All right, I think we might be ready to start assembling the end pieces. So that would be these things folded up, right? And they fold up into, where's the cardboard version? Here we go. A whole lot of nothing here. Listen to me yammer on. So that would be this section here, and these would fold down, well, fold up, and get welded into this, and then we would make 2 of them, and then make the box and assemble them together. The question is here, I have doubles on this 60-degree jig, so that's the way it will be, and there's a huge gap here, like this is ridiculous. So I'm not sure how to, do I grind away the bottom one on each side to bring them closer together on every single one? Like I could go around and tack every single pair of these on a couple of sides, maybe the ends, and then I could grind an angle, a bevel, on all the corners where they meet. Or I can just do it singles. I can not double them up, and I can just do it singles, and there's a much more manageable gap there. And then I can add the other ones to the top or the middle. I guess the top is still going to give me that gap, isn't it? No matter what I do, the top is going to give me that gap. All right, I guess it's beveling. I don't see that I have another choice, because this is way too much of a gap. If this was 1/4-inch plate rather than 2 sections of 1/8 inch, then yeah, I would be beveling that to bring them closer together. Right? Right. All right, so I just have a quick update. I wanted this handle, the handle in the other one, the first one, was kind of difficult to, well, see now this isn't. I wanted this to be able to slide in and out easily, so I took a file and I lined them all up, and I had to use this smaller one to line them all up. And then I took a file and I clamped them together, I took a file and I cleaned up the holes in all of them together, so that, of course, now it's sticking. So that I didn't have to mess with it, so I didn't have it sticking, and because nobody's going to see this junction at any point, anywhere. So that's what I did. Then I started to assemble these, as I was going to do for like 7 days now. And I realized when holding this guy, am I in frame? Yeah. When holding this guy up, that these were too long. These were too long. These were 4 1/2. I had started out 4 5/8, and I cut them down to 4 1/2, and they were still too long because these did not fit, and I wanted them sitting, and the other one I had them sitting kind of deep in there, and that was kind of a problem. So with this one I want this sitting flush here and here. Can you see that? This up level with that, so that the weld metal just fills in that gap, that's all. And I'm going to do it on the torch. I'm sick of this porosity. And then every other one I want just a tiny little gap there. I guess I'll grind the tops of these so that I end up with a tiny little gap like this. And then I guess, I can't think of any other way, I'll put an outer layer on and weld those together. Because I can't, tacking them all together ends up with a tack, and when they butt together, the tack's going to get in the way. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling this, and I'll show you when I have a little progress. Alright, so we're back. I got these two ends tacked up. As I thought I would, I had to do some grinding on these corner pieces, but I like the way they came out. Somewhere between 1/4 inch and 3/8 of an inch on this side. They were a lot pointier on the other one, so I'm much happier with this one. So there they both are. Now, we're ready to make the box. So, I already put these 45s on the sides of the box. My jig had me tack them on the inside, or outside rather. However, this jig that puts these pieces together needs a smooth surface on the outside. So I went ahead and tacked them on the inside, all of them, and then ground these ones on the outside off. I like to use this jig or a jig like this, because, I won't clamp it yet, as long as this piece, this long piece, if this is 90, and this is 45, and it is, because we used a jig to do it, as long as this is flat against this side, and we slide this one in flat against that side, then this is 45. So that's it for the jig. The other 45 jig, this one automatically makes it 45. It doesn't automatically make that outside corner the way I like it. I worked very hard to get these on this hammer. I worked very hard to get these very consistent. So I'm just going to have to throw a tack on there, and because I don't know another way to make sure these are 45s. I guess I can try and change that jig that I use or make another one. But anyway, I like this one. It gives me a perfect 90 here, and therefore a perfect 45 here. So I'm going to go ahead and make the box, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so our box is made, and we have proof of concept anyway for our, our slots there. I did not, I'm kind of a moron, as you know by now. I did not think about these not sitting down on there because they're the same, so it's not going to sit down on there. It would line up next to it, but it will not. So I'm going to have to cut these. Yeah. Oh well, at least it will work. And we'll have the slots, and we just have to worry about this guy here. I'm not sure if we're even going to do that one. The tops, the ends are made. Hang on. Okay, so the ends are made. One's there, the other one's here. These pieces will go here. I just have to double everything up. And I don't know if this is going to come out better than the other one. I think overall outside it will come out better, but I'm not sure if this method of making it and doubling it up is going to work out for us. But we'll keep moving forward.